The 5.7 Hemi V8 is making a major comeback, and this time it's being built in the United States. Ever since John Elkan's talk with President Trump, Stellantis has officially decided to invest in America, reopen Belvidere, and now return the Hemi engine to the failed lineup of EVs and Hurricane engines. But what if I told you that the 5.7 Hemi is just the beginning, and now that more powerful V8s are on the horizon? If you've been watching my channel for the last couple years, you know I love a good deal. Whether it's saving $1,000 on Ram TRXs or Hellcats or helping you guys save money on your Demon 170s from all these dealer shenanigans, I love good deals. And there's no better deal that I can figure out online than with my buddies at JustBought-Ons and DragRacingWheels.com, where you can use my promo code BUTTER at checkout to save up to an additional 15% off on your next order. So check out my friends at JustBought-Ons and DragRacingWheels.com, where some of the best prices online just got a little bit better. Over the past few years, Stellantis has been making aggressive moves to shift away from V8 engines. They announced the end of SRT, the 6.2-liter iron block V8, discontinued the Dodge Charger and the Challenger, and started phasing out the 5.7 and 6.4 V8s in their Ram and Jeep models. The plan was to replace the iconic V8s with the Hurricane-powered inline-six engines that was designed to meet emissions regulations while still delivering solid performance. Many Mopar fans were not happy with the decision, and you had Ram and Dodge buyers still preferring the grunt of a V8 engine. And despite the Hurricane's engine power, it lacks the signature roar and the feel of a Hemi V8. Dealers are reportedly struggling to sell Hurricane-powered models as quickly as their V8 counterparts. EVs that were being pushed by the failed and fired Stellantis CEO Carl Tavares have all been delayed with software issues, quality issues, and now some of them start hitting the streets, with the Ram Rev still nowhere to be seen. And now Stellantis is starting to feel the pressure to rethink its direction with the Hurricane EV Era that's basically DOA in year one. Now, in a surprising turn of events, Stellantis is bringing the 5.7-liter Hemi engine back and now going to shift production to the United States. Previously, this engine was built in Mexico at the Salto plant, but now production is going to be moving toward the Dundee engine plant in Michigan. This is a huge shift for Stellantis as it marks our return to domestic production for one of the most iconic engines in their lineup. Now, this move raises even a bigger question. If Stellantis is bringing back the 5.7-liter Hemi, could we also see the return of other engines like the 392 or even the 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi V8 engine that was in the Hellcat? While there is no official confirmation yet, it is not out of the realm of possibility. The 5.7-liter Hemi is the workhorse of the most brands within Stellantis, and with them choosing to move production to Dundee, that engine plant is within 2 hours of most of the production plants that could utilize that engine. Now, production plants such as Shap currently builds a Ram 1500 that could use the 5.7-liter Hemi, Warren Truck that builds a Wagoneer models that could potentially get a 5.7-liter in there. Mack and Jefferson, those build a Grand Cherokee and a Durango, both models that used to have the Hemi in them. And then more importantly, out of this list, the most important plant that can utilize the 5.7-liter Hemi is the Windsor plant, which now builds a 2-door and about to start building the 4-door Dodge Chargers.
Oh yeah, that wasn't the sound of the Fratsonic chamber in the Banshee. That was the scream of the most power-dense internal combustion engine Dodge has ever installed in a muscle car. In 2025, the all-new Charger will also be available as a 6-pack with the twin-turbo Hurricane.
Now, this is a very strategic relocation of the Hemi back to America, and I 100% believe that more Hemi variants will follow. But you don't have to take my word for it. You can take the word of current Dodge CEO and my frenemy, Dodge's new CEO Matt McAlear.
I wouldn't say that it won't handle a V8, but if you look back at the previous generation of muscle cars and all the powertrain iterations over the years, we continue to innovate and we continue to find ways to bring more to market. So that's the beauty of this platform. It can handle a lot of different.
Gotcha.
So when the 6-pack comes out, you'll have a higher hood bulge.
Now I find it very interesting that he does not say that the Charger would not accept a V8 engine in it, and go through all the engine innovations over the years that the Challenger and the Chargers received throughout the lineup. So something tells me that in a couple years, we'll see different Hemis back in a few vehicles, especially if the Brotherhood holds out and not buying Hurricane and EV powered vehicles. Now, allegedly the newer Dodge Chargers will not allow the Hemi to fit because of the strut tires, but that's what people have told me in the past year. But word around the campfire is that an engine would fit in that car that I was told around 2 years ago, before everyone started even discussing that the Charger Daytona will actually have an engine option in there. Now, I'm going to have someone give me some engine measurements of the engine compartment, especially in between the strut tires, and I'm going to compare it to my Demon 170. The Charger Daytona is so wide after seeing it in person multiple times, I now have a hard time believing that a Hemi will not fit in there. In my Challenger Demon 170, for example, there is literally only 1 inch of clearance in between the strut tire and the coil packs on the side of the engine. So once my buddy gives me the measurements, I'll make a follow-up video. But heck, if one of you guys work at Windsor could give me the engine bay measurements without any EV drivetrain in there, that could work in there. So that way I have a better measurement of this. Or if one of you guys that own the Charger Daytona that don't like me making videos about it, if you can give me the measurements in between the strut tires and Charger Daytona and comment this video, that will work. And if one of you guys also have like either a Challenger or a Charger shell from one of the 2023 and older cars, and give me those measurements in between the strut tires, I'll take all those measurements and put them together and see whether or not we can actually have an actual clear understanding of whether or not it is possible to put a V8 in this new Charger. And we can change the whole thing of if Dodge can actually fit a new V8 into the Charger to when Dodge will fit a V8 into the Charger. Just saying. But Ford still has a V8 Raptor R, and the Ram TRX needs to come back, and hopefully I'm thinking please give it with a Demon 170's engine. That way it can embarrass the Raptor R with over 1,000 horsepower on the streets. My frenemy. Wink, wink.
Seriously.
The Grand Wagoneer, I mean, honestly, it should have a 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi V8 so it can compete head on with the Escalade V, because I've heard a lot of people say that the Wagoneer's interiors are very impressive. A Durango Hellcat, better yet, I would rather have a Durango Redeye. That way you can start having to piss off Durango Hellcat owners with that. A Trackhawk, honestly, I think that should maybe return with a Redeye engine in there. Make a very beastly SUV that can also take on the Escalade V if you don't want to bring back a Durango version of it. I think a new Trackhawk and the Grand Cherokee's new body style will work. Also, don't forget that some of these vehicles I'm talking about, these SUVs, they're going to be coming up for next generation versions, right? The Grand Cherokee is going to come up with a new update in 2027. The next gen Durango, I think, is coming sometime in 2026 or 2027. The next gen Wagoneer is about 2027. And then the Wrangler, I think it's getting updated in 2028. So this is all based on dates on the actual UAW's new contract that they signed like almost 2 years ago, where they had like a timeline of when some of these vehicles will be upgraded. So there's plenty of time to perhaps engineer some newer vehicles with Hemi options in them before they're released. So honestly, I think the Hellcat era should technically be done, and maybe we go to a more of a 6.2 liter high output era with the Redeye version of engines in most of these vehicles. Low production numbers in there to stimulate demand for them. And hopefully with these Redeye engines, we can use the Demon 170's E85 fuel sensor so we get a better performance with cheaper fuels. Because I love the fact that in my Demon 170, I can use E85 in there, right? Instead of having to spend almost $4 a gallon, I can spend $2.25 to fill the vehicle up. Now, I don't necessarily drive my Demon 170 around all the time. I still think it's very beneficial to use a cheaper fuel to spend almost half the cost compared to like my Z06. I might spend like $50, $60 on fuel to Z06, but then spend like $20 or $30 on my Demon 170 to fill it up. Hopefully, if we do this where The actual base Redeye engine is like what, 808 horsepower if they unlock it, just like how they did in the last call years. Then hopefully maybe on E85 they're gonna take it up to like 900 horsepower, maybe 929 horsepower, somewhere around there, to make it kind of fun number scheme again. 707, 717, 797, 808. So maybe 929 would be a good number. But let me know what you guys think. Will Stellantis stop at only the 5.7 liter Hemi, or will we see the return of the 302, maybe the 6.2, maybe the 6.2 liter high output version of the engine in the near future? These engines could be a very nice band-aid to bring back the V8s until a next generation version of a V8 is ready to go. But let me know what you guys think, and until the next time, I'm out.